Hello everyone, Julia Sheehan here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Brisbane, Queensland. Today I'd just like to show you this quick and easy card. It's one that I've chosen to do because it has no dimensionals or anything on it, so it's going to be a really easy card to post without costing you extra postage. And it can be done very quickly. You can do it in a production line if you wanted to send a few off. I'm doing some for my mother to give away. She's not capable of going to the shops anymore, so I'm just doing a whole lot of Christmas cards for her, and she will send them off to her friends. Okay, this one here was done by my daughter on a YouTube video the other night, which there is a link to below. And the only reason I didn't upload the YouTube video is that we do a lot of chatting on that, and we do have a lot of fun. Becky has a wicked sense of humour, but sometimes people don't want to watch all that, so it's easier just to do the card. I initially did this one with some gold embossing powder, which it does look nice, but I think the Cherry Cobbler Rejoice actually stands out better. And I think with a bit of clear embossing powder on there as well, it would even pop more. I'm just out of it at the moment, so I'm just going ahead with the card like it is. But that's something I would do with once I get my supplies back again. Now the stamp sets I'm using is quite a mixture. There's sheet music, which is a beautiful stamp set, and you can use it for so many things, so it's a really versatile set to get. I'm using the new one, His Light, and I'm just using the word rejoice from it. I will be using some of these sentiments inside, but when I do cards myself, I like to match the sentiments and things to the person I'm giving the card to. Some of my friends are religious, some aren't, so again that pays a lot toward what I would do for them. Then I'm using Winter Woods, another new stamp set, and I'm just using the little pine cone from this one, and it's matching dies. I'm using these little ones here just to cut it out, and I'm using this one. This one was in the catalogue last year. It's called Pretty Pines, and the stamp set is called Christmas Pines. They go together, but all I'm using is the small and the medium pine branches out of that one. And that is a beautiful stamp set. I was going to use the big pine cone, but I just think it's a little bit too big for this. I will put it against it. I did do one just quickly out of crumb cake to see. You can make that judgment call though as to whether you like the big one or the small one. Okay, now the things we're going to need are a piece of Cherry Cobbler, 8.5 by 5 7/8, and that will be folded and burnished, ready to go. A piece of gold glimmer paper measuring 4 inches by 5 6/8 of an inch, which I have actually cut the center out of. Because it's covered and you only see the edges, I can't see the point in wasting that when you could set a really nice sentiment or something on there. So I keep all of those. So I have myself quite a collection of those here. Then a piece of Very Vanilla measuring 5 5/8 of an inch by 3 7/8 of an inch, and then just some scraps of garden green and crumb cake. And as you can see, I've already cut out the pine branches, and they're the little pine cones. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is attach the gold glimmer paper to the Cherry Cobbler, just so it's got time to dry. And I find that sticking anything to the gold glimmer or on it for anything does take longer, and it's just a little bit more difficult, obviously because the surface isn't flat. It is a little bit rough, but that doesn't mean it doesn't stick. It just takes its time. So just giving it a head start here. There we go. And then I can put that aside. All right, next thing, bring in this beautiful stamp, sheet music stamp. I'm going to put crumb cake over that. I'm finding everything has glitter, me included, at the moment. Okay, now once you've done that, just get your piece of Very Vanilla and then just sit that very carefully on there, trying to keep it as straight as you can. and then bring in a piece of paper over the top of that and just press down. There we go. Just press down on that, make sure that it transfers, and then we lift that off very carefully, and there we have it. Lovely bit of music there. Alright, next thing I'm going to do, I'll just bring that paper in. You can see I've used that before. Put the lid on things. Is to, with our crumb cake, is I'm just going to age this by just rubbing a bit of the crumb cake around the edges. I will do some across the middle too, because I just don't want it to look like a new sheet of music. I love that nostalgic look that you get with music and things at Christmas time. I'm a bit into the old-fashioned style of things and what Christmas would be like, especially if it was snowing. But here in Australia, of course, we don't have that. We have very hot Christmases. There we are. We always had the traditional baked dinner at Christmas. My grandparents were from England, and it kind of stuck. There we are. Okay, and then just a bit extra. My crumb cake's very much due for a re-inking, so this probably won't show up as much, but when you go around the edges, it just gives the edge a nice darker look too. There we go. Right, close up the crumb cake. Now I'm just going to bring the Stampin'UP in, because I've already lined up the Rejoice on it. So I've done a few of these cards already. And I'm just going to pop that on there, and I'm lining it up just here. And I'm going to use cherry cobbler for this. My cherry cobbler, as you can see, leaked from day one. So it's been a bit of a challenge. But if I put it up the right way, it doesn't leak much anymore. Right, I'm just going to press that down gently. Let's see how we go. Oh, that's lovely. That's very strong, and as I say, with clear embossing powder over that, I think that would look really good. So as soon as I get that, I'll be doing that as well. Okay, now we can add that to the card. I better close up this. I always manage to get ink on me, doesn't matter what I do. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to glue this down. And this is where it covers over that gold glimmer paper, so do it right through the middle. And we're just going to pop that on there. There we go. And then press that down. The people at the post office near here where I live, they're sticklers for pushing everything through a little slot to make sure that none of the cards go over, so that's why I wanted to make this one flat. Then just up the spine, or the centre of your branch, I'm just going to pop that on there like that, and that's the medium one that I used there, and this is the other medium one. You don't need to go out on all the pine needles. Just down the centre is fine. That'll hold it to the card well. So, whoops. Wants to stick to me now rather than the card. There we go. And then our little ones. And we're nearly done. That's how quick this card is. I mean, you may decide to add extra things to it, but this gives you a good basis for a card anyway. I'm just going to put one there. And this one. There. Sometimes less is more. Across here. And down the middle. You could even pop some rhinestones on this if you wanted to, just in a few places. But I quite like just the simplicity of this. Next thing are our little pine cones. They're going to go on. And they can overlap each other too a little bit. So just make sure you give them enough time to dry. I usually put quite a bit of glue on those because they're sitting up on the pine branches as well and over each other. There's those two, and then two down the bottom. Put as many on as you like. There we go, and now our last one. Pop that there. And then I'm going to get my fine tip glue pen, which I think is easier to do this. And all I'm going to do is just dab it in spots over the pine cone and just in spots on the pine branches and the needles. And it's just random. You don't have to run it along each branch because that would not look natural. Those people that have snow at Christmas on their pine trees will know exactly what to do. We had a lot of pine trees where we used to live, and all the local children used to have a wonderful time having pine cone wars, which was just fun for them, just throwing them everywhere. There were a few injuries because pine cones are sharp, but they didn't mind. They had lots of fun. And we used to have the most beautiful tawny frogmouth birds. I'm not going to call them owls because they're not, but they would be in our pine trees and they looked absolutely beautiful. And then some dazzling diamonds just to finish it off. I decided not to go with gold glitter or anything. I think the dazzling diamonds look nice. And then just shake that off and you've got that lovely shimmer to it. And once I do the clear embossing powder there, I think that will look really nice too. I'll just pop these leftover dazzling diamonds back into the container and put the lid on my fine tip glue pen, which goes there. And there it is, my finished card, along with the others that we've made. Now, if you liked this card, please feel free to make it, to share the video, to share the YouTube video. That would be great. To subscribe would be fantastic. I hope to do at least one a week, and I would really appreciate it. Anyone who doesn't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia, can be anywhere in Australia, to pop on and have a look. And if you would like me to be your demonstrator, I would be honoured to do so. And all you have to do is go through the link to my shop and you can do your shopping. And if you have anything you want to ask me, please do, and I can send you out a free catalogue if that's what you would like. And Stampin' Up! Are very good about sending out their products. Even though you have to order through a demonstrator, it goes straight to you. There's no coming to me and then being sent to you. They send it off, and I ordered something last Thursday night and I got it Monday morning. So that tells you how quick they are in posting things out. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.